Hello, everybody. Can everybody hear me? Let me know. Here we go. Just let me know how it sounds and all of that stuff. Good. We're just waiting for them to start. Great, good. If you guys could hit the like and do all those things, that would be wonderful. Sounds good. Good. They've shown their camera a couple of times, so I'm thinking they're trying to get it ready, you know what I mean? So I'm guessing that's what they're doing. Let me see here. How is everybody this morning? Just finishing something on my work app over here. Yeah, I think we all are. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I agree, Pamela. Reminds me of my son a lot. They should be starting any moment. I have a copy account. What do you mean I have a copy account? I don't have a copy account. No, it'll be video. Just not yet. There is video though, yes. Good morning. That's what we're going to see, Heather. Remember, well, I don't know if you were here. So the plan is, right? Right, Cherry, that's the YouTube rumor. The judge had all of those. Remember, there were 2 weeks of jury selection. So they had to go and choose the jury, all of that stuff. The jury came back this morning to be chosen. I'm assuming they just finished that now. But the webinar was not live at all until 10:30 our time. So now it is live where you can go in. So no, it is video. There is video. They've had it on a couple of times already this morning. So we'll see now when exactly it starts. I don't know, but we'll be here for it. Yes, you do hear fish tanks. One of them, just one. Ooh. You want me to know what sooner? Once my once the webinar starts, we won't hear all of that in the back. Thank you. Don't worry about it. I appreciate that. Good morning. Where's the copy account? What does that mean? That there's a Chasing Truth, what? A name running around in chats or a channel? Silly. Good morning. Captain Obvious, I know. Yes, what? Sooner. Yes, okay. I have a channel called Chasing Truth, and it's copying me. Yep, we are watching it here, Starlin. Athena Griffin is it? Athena Griffin. Is it just my other channel? We're hoping it starts fairly soon, Starlin. I think they're just finishing up with everything that they have to do before they can get started. Hey, Gemini. No. Oh, he's talking. Let's listen.
That he has some concerns about work issues. He's in a small software company. Said he's already working for 50% pay and expects to be unemployed in a few weeks. Stated that he is friends with one of the DA witnesses, Detective Sirois, Sirois. And he says he is close friends with Detective Sirois's kid. Apparently, his kid and Sirois's kid are in something together. And he also talked with the detective about spending 5 weeks searching for Gannon. So that would be juror 6 in the seat today. Prosecution, you have a position. Mr. Tellini? Yeah, I intend to excuse him. So so that's juror number 6. Then juror, the person who is in currently seat number 9. She called and says it's a work issue. She works 3 12-hour shifts, Thursday through the weekend, but she's off on Friday. So I guess it would be Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, and says she does not believe she can maintain that pace for 6 weeks. Request to be released. Prosecution. Mr. Tellini. All right, I will release her as well.
That's number 9 can release it.
Correct. And then juror number 18. I think we're okay, actually. Did she have any further follow-up?
No, she did not.
The only issue that you may need to be aware of, she contacted us asking about court care. And I think it was last week that we didn't have court care for like 2 days or something like that. So it may be an ongoing issue, but I intend to leave her on. Then juror. Then juror number 23. Juror number 23 was in seat 11 on day 2. That may, you may be able to recall who this person was when I tell you the comment. He had concerns over the DA questioning on beyond the reasonable doubt and the 1 + 1 = 2 example. Said the juror is concerned that the answer that he gave has impacted his credibility with other jurors and he felt compromised. He said it's on his mind and it may be impacting his health. Prosecution. I believe he was one of the engineers because I think I remember the follow-up question of, well, what if the integer is a -1? So if you want a minute to think about that, that's fine. You have all the information. I'm not holding anything back. These are just voicemails that were left with us. And that's all he said. I can follow up with him and ask and see what you want to do after that. Okay. All right. I can do that. Juror number 28 has checked with his employer and he said there is no way that he can be on a trial for 6 to 8 weeks. He will not get a paycheck during that time. I intend to excuse him. That would be juror 28. I will pass this on for what it's worth. Again, I'm just reading the comments that I have gotten from the jurors. I'm not editing, so. 1085. 1097. Juror 29 said she contacted her employer and the issues with her employer have been worked out. She also says she's a volunteer for the jury and would rather be on the jury than a backup. She says it's better for the employer. Not exactly sure what that means, but you have the same information I have. Juror 32 says she's a teacher who has actual class on Thursdays, and the other 4 days is like she's a tutor online for, or she's in school. HR says if the juror works Thursday, then she's responsible for students all week. It's difficult for her to be in court 4 days a week. Being responsible for keeping up with students, 4 days of jury service would be paid However, if the juror does not work on Thursday, she's not paid for that day. She's trying to work it out, but she's not getting very far. I will follow up with her. That would be juror 32. Juror 53. Juror 53. I think I recall this person. She is a little bit older, and she says she contacted our division about medical issues. She has sciatic pain on the left side, and sitting aggravates it. She wants to stay active and help the pain. Um, I think because of the sitting, she's concerned and she requests to be disqualified. Prosecution, 53.
Yes, I wonder what she would say if she's reminded.
I'll ask her. Okay. Juror 41. And I recall this woman because there's something else I wanted to put on here. This was the woman whose son is in DOC, and she described that it caused her some degree of anxiety when she came into the courtroom. And she says she cannot do this day after day. She says court is an unpleasant experience. She says she's not been sleeping or eating since she was here for jury selection on March 22, and she feels that if she's in trial, she will have a breakdown. I have to admit that when we got to the end of that day and she saw that she was coming back, I remember her being in tears on that day. So I am inclined to release her. Prosecution. Mr. Tellini.
I'll defer to the court.
Okay, I am going to release her. Juror number 63 spoke with her employer, and she does get paid for jury service, but only for limited jury service. She does not get paid after 5 days. She says then it's unpaid, and she believes that she would be unable to go without pay for that length of time of trial. So I will release juror 63 as well.
Question on 63.
I'm sorry. It is a male. I'm sorry.
Just wanna make sure we-
You're right. No, you're right. You're right. No, I misspoke. I am releasing 63. Yeah, he contacted his employer. I think this was the guy that said, yeah, I think I get paid, and then he found out that he doesn't get paid for as long as what he thought. Juror 44. Oh, this was the guy that called about because he has a large truck, and I think we've got that figured out. So I will follow up with some of these others.
I didn't have the big-
Well, he identified himself by name, which is how, let's see, 2702, let me make sure. Oh, we have. This is, yeah, he's not in seat. Yeah, except that. Oh, got it. Yeah, right. Wrong chart. Okay, he is in seat, whoops. He is, where'd he go? I have 2702 as juror. Oh, there he is. He's in seat 17 on the 11 o'clock chart. So, and I think we got that worked out. Okay, so for sure I'm in the right place here.
Go through the again.
Working on it. Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
So hearing me over him probably sounds terrible if he's speaking right now. But let me just say this, that this part is video, the next part, this part is audio because it has to do with the jury and you cannot have it on during that time, but the video is coming. Okay? Yes, Stacy, this will be up. Yep.
Up here. Seat 277. Okay. So here's what I did. The person who is currently sitting in seat number 6, that is the person that knows Detective or Sergeant Soros. Where is it? Detective Soros. That person is excused. The person sitting in seat 9 is excused. I will follow up with person in seat 18 regarding court care. Person in seat 23 is the one that was asking the DA, or that had a comment about the DA questioning on beyond a reasonable doubt and feels that his credibility has been impacted and it's on his mind. I will do a follow-up question with him. Juror 28 is being excused as a result of work issues. Juror 29, you can follow up if you want to. That's the person that said they've got it worked out with their employer. I will also follow up with juror in seat 32 that has sciatica issues, and see if standing and all of that will help her. Or no, that's not that. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's not the sciatica. Sciatica is the next one. This is the one that has the work issues as the teacher. And that is, she is in seat 32 currently. The next one, 1605. Juror 53 is the one with the sciatica issues. I'll follow up with her. Juror 41 is being excused. And juror 63 is also being excused. So people that I have being excused, excuse me, are jurors 6, 9, 28, 41, 63, with follow-up to jurors 23, 32, and 53. Did that answer your question, Mr. Young?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay. Anything from the defense?
Was on 18, were you gonna, was that a follow-up on the course care?
Yes. Yes. The only
Engineer.
that is seat number 23, and I will follow up with him to see what he's talking. He says this issue is on his mind and it may be impacting his health. I don't know what he means by that. So that's where we are. Go ahead and bring him in. Oh, okay.
Just so that we understand how this is going to work.
Sure.
Are we going to designate which seats are open? And how are they going to fill in gaps that end up on this box?
Okay, wherever, the best way to think about this is, once we have our 50 that you can start exercising peremptories on. And I don't know whether that's going to be this morning or this afternoon. But it's fair that you be able to look at everybody so you know who the pool is. So we got the pool, and everybody that is there, and none of those people are going to be excused. So what will happen then is you can exercise your peremptories anywhere in the room. And the best way to describe it in this case, the highest seat number jurors, the last 6 are going to be your alternates. That makes sense?
13 through 18.
Yeah, step up here and I'll show you. It's a little bit easier to show you. Okay. So So let's assume everybody is here. That's fine. Let's assume everybody's here, including the strikes, because I'm not going to send really anybody out. So, well, no, say I excuse these people. So I excuse these 4. So these seats are vacant, right? So by default, all these people slide down. So this person then takes this chair if they're selected. So you can use your 16 anywhere that you want. And then let's assume that these are your last 6 jurors chosen along here. Those are going to be your alternates, with this being alternate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Assuming they end up down here.
Correct.
Assuming last in the box.
Assuming that they end up in the box, right? Is that
And then they're just gonna snake in, so this will person will
Right.
go here.
everybody's going to slide down?
Yeah, they'll come up.
Okay.
Yep. Does that, anybody have any questions? That
No.
make sense to everybody?
Yep.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
Okay. Not that that record's going to help a bit, but we had it and they had the diagram. So there we are. Okay. Is there anything else that we need to take up from the prosecution?
I'm sorry, just,
Anything else we need to take up?
I don't know if we want to do this now or when we get, before we do opening, but we intend to dismiss count 3, which is abuse count. And so for we charge this case
Right.
with child abuse. Knowing, first degree child under 12 was originally count 1. Child abuse resulting in death was count 2. That was done before Gannon's remains were found. Once Gannon's remains were found and we got more evidence, obviously. And then count 3 doesn't really fit. So we'll be dismissing count 3, going forward on counts 1 and 2.
Let's do that before openings. That would make more sense. Yeah, nope, I appreciate that. Anything else from the prosecution? From the defense, Mr. Tellini or Mr. Cook?
I'll do it before. I do have a motion regarding I'm maintaining my position regarding the changes. I can either do it now or.
Let's wait until after. We'll do it just before opening statements. That work? Okay, all right. All right, let's go ahead and bring him in. No, but it seems to be working, and that's all that's all that counts.
instead of the benches.
So- Oh, okay. They're not switching out anymore. That's what it's Q. Yeah, because we still got that one. This row. Third grade seating chart, not as easy as everybody thinks. This moment, council approach, please. Council approach again, please. He said 60, 60. So 46, 60. Good to go back. Okay. Court will call. All right, court will call 20 CR 1358, People versus Letecia Stauch. Record should reflect the jury has returned to the courtroom. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
That was so much better than the last time you guys were here. We're gonna start out again, and I'm gonna have all of you stand and raise your right hand, please. Do you and each of you solemnly swear or affirm under penalty of law to answer truthfully the questions asked by the court or counsel concerning your service as a juror in this case?
I do.
Thank you. Go ahead and have a seat. I wanted to follow up because some of you have contacted this division, and I want to follow up and make sure that I have the right jurors and the right issues, and then see if there are any others that I may have missed. And I know that it's going to be a little bit confusing to all of you because the last time that you were here, you were probably sitting in different seats. And so we're all doing our best, and we'll try and get through it. So juror number 6 over here. Yes, juror number 6. I just wanted to make sure. You had said that you were or you knew Detective Siroy. Okay. And you were also close friends and know his kids well. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. And then juror number 9, second from the end. You were the one that was working the 12-hour shifts Thursday through the weekend. Do I have that right? Right. Okay. Juror 18 in the front. You had called to ask about court care. Did you get that all resolved? Okay, just wanted to follow up. And then juror. This is the right one. Just a minute here. Juror 23, I think in the back. Did you, for on the end there, ma'am? Yes, that would be you. Juror 23, did you contact the court? Oh, whoops. Yep, you're right. Juror 23. I knew that. There we go. All right. Juror 23. You had contacted the court and said that you had some concerns. Um, you said that after the questioning in the court that there was something that was on your mind, and you said that it might be impacting your health. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Okay. Do you think that that was as a result of being here and some of the stress that you were under here? Okay. Juror 28 on the end here in the front. You said that you had contacted your employer and are not, there's no way that you can do a 6 to 8 week trial because you won't receive a paycheck. You contacted your employer. All right. And juror 29, you had also contacted the court and said that you've got it worked out with your employer? Won't be that way. The way an alternate works is that you're here the whole time. Okay, yeah. No, so yeah, I think we have your concern addressed. Juror 32, you had contacted us and said that you're the teacher, right? Okay. And help me understand this, because the message that I got is that you only get paid for the whole week if you're working there Thursday? What is that? Okay. So we're good? We're okay. All right. Okay. Okay. That's okay. That's what I wanted to follow up with. Okay. And juror 16. Yes. Did you have a doctor's note for me? Okay. If you would hand that to Mr. Combs, please, and I'll get to that in just a moment. Thank you. Okay. And juror 53, back row, you called and said that you had some sciatica issues. Does it help if you can get up and stand? And you're also going to be, it's not a whole lot better, don't get me wrong, but the chairs are a little bit better than what you're sitting in. Okay. Okay. All right. And juror 41, you had contacted the court as well? Striped shirt. Yes, ma'am. Yes. You had contacted the court and said that being here in the courthouse was causing you some stress. How are you doing? Well, I remember when you got the card that had your report back. I remember that you were a little teary when you got that. So it was, and it sounds like it's not gotten better. Okay. And juror 63, let's see, something's not right here. I think you guys reverse those. Something's not right here. Okay, now this makes a little bit more sense. And juror 63, there we are. Yep, nope. Face matches the name, works great. Okay. Juror 63, you had said that originally you thought that you were paid for jury service, and it turns out that you are, just not as long as what you thought. Okay. All right, just wanted to make sure. Okay. When you all were last here, You were all qualified to sit on this jury. However, I know that circumstances may have changed. I've spoken with some jurors. Is there anyone else whose circumstances changed that I've not spoken with? Whoops. All right, juror number 4. What's the circumstance that's changed?
I'm currently having an issue with DFAS. Categorize me as AWOL.
Okay, so what is the issue?
So they categorize me as absent without leave. And so I'm not getting paid and I have to go to the finance department that's only open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday to get it fixed. And I have to sit there and talk to them. I have to go talk with the JAG officers, explaining I never left, I'm still at my station of duty and stuff like that.
Okay, we've had other military people. I think we may still have some military people on here. Why, what is different about your circumstance?
So DFAS controls pay. and
Okay,
I'm not getting paid because they put a blockade on it and I have to go to them to get it fixed so I can start getting my, pretty much my payback, all my,
and,
pretty much the military's put a hold on my account.
okay,
And I have to fix it first before I can do anything, because if I don't fix it, it'll start a cascade of problems.
okay. And is a letter from me going to help that?
Maybe, I have honestly no idea, sir. We're currently right now, the issue is I had a deletion of orders to go overseas. And currently finances still have it in their system that I was supposed to go there. And right now the fight is saying I got the canceled.
Oh, so that doesn't have to do with this case, though. That occurred sometime before, right?
Yes, sir, but still as of right now, I have not been paid by the military and I got
Okay.
that.
Okay, I think I understand. Anyone else in this group? Juror number 15?
I've had a dental emergency over the weekend. That's what this is. It's going to require a root canal. I haven't scheduled that. Or it's okay. But I don't know. what's happening.
So if it happened over the weekend, it sounds like maybe you haven't spoken with the dentist yet?
No, I went in to see him on Friday
Okay,
and he gave me antibiotics just to stop the progression,
okay,
schedule a root canal.
okay. Okay, let me think about that one. Anyone else in this front row? On the end, juror 10?
It's fine, haven't met him.
Anyone else in this group here? Anyone else in this group? Juror 24?
Eye surgery.
Okay. I think we'll be done by May 25. Anyone else in this group over here? Juror 39? Juror 39? Yes. But it's not scheduled? Okay. Anyone else in this group over here? Juror 40. Yes. What kind of work is it?
I designed for it.
Anyone else in this group over here? Looks like Juror 49. Yes, sir.
Yes, I did not let you guys know at the beginning that my, I'm a single homeowner. Only pays me 3 days of, with me being a single homeowner, it'd be kind of hard for me to, I don't know how the court system pays.
Okay. Right. Anyone else back here? Juror 54.
There are cameras. This is jury selection. They're finishing up, but then there will be cameras.
Juror 30. As I said, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 weeks. I've already spoken with you. You're 45, I believe it is. Yes. I was going to ask about that.
I also talked to my boss and I'm a only 2 of us are interested. Not for me. I wouldn't be able to.
I just want to make sure I understand this right. Your pregnancy may be an issue for service here, but you're going to still serve as a kickboxing instructor?
Yeah, I mean, I could teach without actually having to do it.
Okay. Just making sure I'm following the whole progress here. Okay. And in the third row there, juror 61. Yes, ma'am.
Scheduled several appointments. Put off 6 weeks. I myself have come down with the fact.
Else in this back group? Back. Juror 74. Yes. Okay. And juror 75, you sort of went like this. Wasn't sure if you were actually raising your hand, not raising your hand. What's going on? All right, the last time that we were here, we had also talked about the publicity this case has received. Those of you who are here all said that you could put the publicity and other people's opinions aside and decide this case based only on the evidence presented in the courtroom. We also talked about the need to guard against exposure to publicity and anyone's opinions regarding this case from the time you were last here to now. Is there anyone who believes that they have been exposed to any opinions or stories since we were last together, and you don't think you could put those opinions and stories aside and decide this case based on the evidence you hear in the courtroom? Please raise your hand. Response? Do some checking here. Give me just a moment. Is there anyone that I've not spoken to who believes that they could not serve on this jury for the period of time, or either because it involves the circumstance that it does? No response. The people who have returned to this courtroom were all selected to return in this case because you all agreed that you could decide this case in a fair and impartial manner. Has anything occurred since we were last together that causes any of you to believe you could not continue to serve in a fair and impartial manner? Please raise your hand. No response. All right. Council approach, please.
Can you guys hear me? I have my cell phone on too, but I don't know if you can hear me. Yeah, they won't have any cameras during this part. You can. Great. Is there an echo or anything crazy? No? Yay. I tried to turn the camera on, but it's black for whatever reason. I don't know.
Okay.
He's back.
Going one for this week. If I excuse you, stay in your seat until we get to the end. And then all you can leave is 1.5. But you're number 4, 6, 9, 15. I call, you're excused with the court.
I'm so sorry. I was trying to take a lower chair because my feet are hanging. Do you want?
There's, not just yet.
Well, she just
Oh,
touching chair.
Not just yet.
Just the chair, not the position.
Oh, that, oh,
I'm sorry.
you be in the same position? Yeah, that's fine.
It's
No, no.
Thank you,
Sorry.
Your Honor.
It's all good. Oh, I see. Yeah, I see what you're doing. Yeah, no, that's fine. Perfectly fine.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Okay, no, it's all good. Yeah, so.
Lots of waiting in this situation. Lots and lots of waiting. You just gotta wait and then wait a little bit more. It's been far too long already. She's delayed this forever. Have
All right.
I heard anything?
Is there anything, is there
No.
any reason why anybody believes that they could not serve as a fair and impartial juror in this case if selected to serve? Please raise your hand. If you are in this room, you should anticipate that you will be on this jury. So if there is any reason that any of you have that causes you to think why you could not serve on this jury, please raise your hand. No response. All right, Council approach, please. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do at this point, oh, sorry, Beck. Ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do at this point in time is we are going to select the jury in this case. The jury is actually selected by a process of deselection, and we've spoken about that before. What that means is that you will see the attorneys handing a sheet back and forth between themselves, and when we get done, I will read the numbers of the jurors who will, or the numbers of the people who will serve as jurors in this case. Let's check.
Let's go, sir. Come on.
6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 46, 47, 50. And this does take a while. I think what we'll do is, well, actually, for this part, we do need to have everybody in the jury room, so, or in the courtroom. So it will take a little bit of time. You can feel free to stand, stretch, talk quietly amongst yourselves if you want to do that. That's right. I heard a voice somewhere. Oh. Hold on. Juror 20, yes, ma'am. Have they been given any more information about you? Was that the question? Not for me. No, anybody is, it's not uncommon that one side or the other or both will sometimes see what information they can find out about a potential juror, a potential judge even, and potential witnesses. But there's no other information that was given to anybody by us, by the courts. Maybe that's the best way to put it. Does that answer your question? Yes. Right. Right. Yeah, those questionnaires that you filled out. Right. No, remember the comments that I made was that the court staff, the attorneys, and their staff will know who you are, but nobody else does. Because constitutionally, they're entitled to know that information. No one else is. Does that answer your question? Okay.
Okay, so we're just going to be waiting and waiting while they finish this. Is everybody in here familiar with this whole entire case? I thought I just saw somebody say that they weren't, maybe. Yeah, she's a little concerned. What are you going to find out about me? Courtney, are you saying no? Gina said she's not. Okay, so I will give you a rundown, okay? The lady who is on trial right now is named Letecia. She was the stepmother of a little boy named Gannon. Her husband was in the National Guard, I believe it is, and he was out of town. While he was out of town on January 27th, 2020, she reported Gannon missing. So everybody was kind of confused with the way that she was describing everything. She said that he was homesick that day. She had taken photos of him laying on the couch. He was playing his Nintendo Switch. And she said that he left to go play with his friend. After calling 911, speaking with the police, she couldn't name any of his friends or their parents, which of course people thought was strange. But it was around 10 o'clock that night. They ended up searching her property, and they're thinking she could have done something. Very quickly, they're thinking that. And she gave an interview, her back to the camera. She wouldn't look at anybody. Everything was kind of about her. Nothing was about Gannon or wanting Gannon home or anything like that. So I did do a little, I don't know if I can pull it up, but let me just see here real quick. I put a whole timer together. Where's it? You can probably hear my fish tanks in the background. Sorry. I don't know what the timeline is, but okay. She goes and rents a car. She leaves her car in a short-term parking lot at an airport, right? She uses the rental vehicle to go pick up Gannon's dad, Al, and that's at the airport. So then she returns to the short-term parking lot and allegedly moves Gannon's body to an unknown area, trying to hide the body and that's according to the affidavit. They thought that Gannon had been in the car because Letecia wanted to avoid her husband discovering Gannon, because as far as he knew, she went to a friend's house. So the next day, the 29th of January, the rental car is returned at 9 a.m. She meets with investigators and is 2 hours late, by the way. Her vehicle is completely washed out. She arrives with sheets of paper and tells the investigators that she was held at gunpoint by a man named Eduardo on the day that Gannon went missing. She alleges that the man raped her, then abducted Gannon. Okay, Letecia goes on to tell this absolutely crazy story, saying she cleaned up the area before reporting her son missing, and just craziness that nobody would ever believe. When they are talking to her about getting a rape kit on Eduardo, she starts to stick tissues down her pants. She starts having fake heart problems and freaking out. So they rush her to the hospital. She had no health issues. Nobody knows what the hell she was doing. So then they determine she has no life-threatening concern, but she's getting ready to be released, and she slips out of the building. You know, she's not under arrest, so that was legal. She didn't face any further charges for that. On January 30th, his status goes from a runaway to an endangered child. The FBI is involved, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and they begin to search El Paso County. On February 1st, Letecia and her daughter Haley drive across country for some nonsense. Everything that they've told everybody has been nonsense. So there was this one video that ends up coming out, and what you can see in it is her that day parking in front of the house. But on the other side, where the camera can't really see, you see little feet on the other side. You can barely see it, but we know that that was Gannon. And he never came back out of the house, according to any of the surveillance video. The inside alarm can tell you when people are upstairs, downstairs, when there's activity. And they knew that both of them were in the house and that they were the only ones in the house. So then on February 14th, Letecia tells Al 5 different versions of events that happened that day. The first one was when the El Paso Sheriff's Office came to the house on the 27th. The abductor was still there, and that she was trying to signal them, but they didn't notice it. So that was one story. The next story was she was raped by a man, and he abducted Gannon. She knew the man's identity because she saw a paper and an ID card fall out of his pocket. Then a different man followed her from Petco, and at some point was laying in the middle of the road in front of her car. So she stopped trying to avoid him, and he jumped in the car and made her take him home, and he raped her. The next story was Letecia and Gannon were near County Line Road in northern El Paso County on the 27th. Gannon was riding a bicycle. He fell off, hit his head, and then was abducted by someone, because that always happens. There was another story about the blood in the corner of Gannon's room, and it was a combination of hers and his. But she says that the abductor anally penetrated her and Gannon with some object. And she was tied up, and the abductor was still present when the sheriffs were there. Are you all with me so far? You're probably like, wait, what? She's such a nut. So then she calls a fake polygraph company, and it's called fakepolygraph.com. Who knew there was such a site? But there is. So she was hoping to get the results of a test that she took online, but they told her report was blocked by management based on the questions she put on there. She was also told that any illegal activities that they feel could have been going on, they have the right not to send a report. So she asked them, so what are you going to do? Just keep my money and forget this ever happened? And they're like, yeah. So on the 28th of February, they signed a warrant for her arrest. She's arrested in Myrtle Beach. She makes headlines, blah, blah. She attacks a deputy in March. Al files for divorce. He knows that she's done this stuff. She's formally charged with first-degree murder on March 11th of 2020. On March 17th, his body is discovered in Florida. Let's see, I think he was under a bridge in a suitcase, and construction workers came upon it. And she had wrapped him up in blankets. He had been shot in the jaw, stabbed in the chest and in the back, and suffered a skull fracture. He had defensive wounds on his arms and legs, and the bullet was still lodged in his skull. So she tried to attempt to escape from jail, devised a whole plan to break through a window and had a broken door handle, all of that craziness. She ends up in 2021 having a mental health evaluation, and they said she was competent, that she could stand trial. In February of 2021, she decides she's going to represent herself in court, and they tell her, okay, but somehow that goes away. And in May, she's appointed a new public defender. In September of 2021, after hearing from law enforcement and expert witnesses, the judge rules the case is going to trial. February of 2022, she changes her plea of not guilty. She changes her plea to not guilty by reason of insanity. And so then they started selecting the jury, and here we are. Okay, so that's all. Yeah, she tried to escape. She's attacked people. Oh, P.S. She keeps writing the judge letters about how she's being treated unfairly, and the letters are just absolutely crazy. Let me see if I have some of the letters here. They're so wacky. Letecia. Okay, judge to the letter. Judge to the letter to the judge. Do you guys want to hear it? I'm happy to share it if you want. Good afternoon, sir. I thank you for taking the time out to read my letter and my concerns about an unfair process that is going on in this case. I've expressed these concerns several times to my defense team and feel that I have not been afforded my right as a U.S. citizen. Let me know if the sound is okay. It has been 5 months, and I've met with my team one time in March of 2020. It is crackly, isn't it? I thought so. It's cutting in and out. Sounds no bueno, but none of you were going to let me know, huh? Till I asked. It's pretty rude. How about now? I think it should be better now. All better. Okay. It's been 5 months and I've met with my defense team one time in March of 2020. It is now the middle of August. I understand this pandemic is unforeseen, but I don't feel that I should be held unconstitutionally, denied access to my attorneys, have constitutional rights violated, and be abused in the process. First, as you know, there are over 30,000 and growing pieces of discovery in my car, in my case. This is letters that she wrote to the judge. I don't know why the crackles are coming. I know. I hear them. Just not sure why. You shut up, QWERTY. They come and go. It's strange. I know the jail is listening to my attorney-client calls. Officers also wait outside the door, and sometimes a video camera is on. Sir, these things are a violation of my rights. In addition, I have no way to write things down, as I am always restrained. I think your mic senses the BS of the letter. Oh, my goodness. Next, sir, I understand the Eighth Amendment protests cruel and unusual punishments. Nobody is punishing you, you lunatic. I've been a pillar in my community. We'll just keep muting and unmuting until the crackles go away. How about that? QWERTY. I have proven myself as a responsible citizen and should not be subjected to the cruel punishment that I receive here. Over 15 times, I have been abused in transport, ranging from injured ribs, a knot on my head, several ankle and wrist bleedings, bruises on my knees and my cell, loss of feeling in my hands. I don't know what that says. I have to be on inshore due to the poisoning comments. Just recently on 8/11/2020, I received threats in my peanut butter. My goodness. She's horrible. Hey, Nicole. So you can tell what kind of person this lady is, yeah? She is not getting a fair process. She does not feel like a U.S. citizen in her beloved country. She even put in a PS. Mm-hmm. You get all quick before I crack. The PS, she wants receipt of this letter to be sure that he got it. Okay, so write me back. Do you like me, yes or no? You're so weird. You know what, QWERTY? Go somewhere. Fresh ass, man. Maybe. I had that echo cancellation on. I don't know if that really helps. I think that's a lie. I don't know who is putting money on her books. That's not a P sound. Do you think I'm... What? You know what it is. It's my fish tank. Crazy. Yes, she is claiming insanity. So I guess we're going to see how that works out for her, but I'm going to go with no. Yep, we're still on jury selection. That's why we're waiting. Ugh, this fucking crackle. It's a horse. You have horses running around the house. Yes, Michelle, exactly. Hey, Blue Annie. Yeah, the sound was great until that, huh? Well, the sound will be fine on the court side. It's just when I mess around with stuff. Hi, Taylor. You haven't missed anything. They are finishing up all of the jury selection stuff. And as soon as they're done, they'll have opening statements. They're doing that right now. I just gave a quick rundown of the case for some who don't know about it. No, I can't either. They say in this case, which is going to be really hard for people to hear, is that he was in his bed and the blood went through the mattress, through the rug, and into the concrete below the floor. No, it's not low on water. I have bubblers in there for them. I've got a lot done this morning. I just finished feeding all the fish. I mopped the floors. I did all the dishes. And now I got to go feed the dogs. That's just sick. I was stabbed and shot. I'm not sure which exactly killed him, but he was stabbed and shot. For nothing. For what reason? Yeah. That video's awful. It's hard for me to even listen to that video. Yeah, in his bed. Shh. there is this video that come out that people are talking about right now in the chat. I don't know why she recorded this on her phone, but I'm sure we'll hear it during the trial. She was trying to make it seem like he accidentally burnt the rug and they were going to have to sell a whole bunch of stuff so that the landlord did get upset or something. And he was crying and crying. It was so sad. I think she used that with her husband initially to act like he ran away, which no. No, Captain. Not as far as I know. That's so sad, Jessica. Yeah, that's the question. What set her off? Was it a hole in the carpet? Me too, MJ. I don't understand how anybody could do something like that. And he seemed like such a sweetheart. You know, even if he was a crazy, unruly, terrible kid, you don't do anything like that. Yeah, Michelle, it's too hard to even listen to. I was going to play it on this stream, and I'm like, no, they're probably going to play it during the trial. Possibly, Amanda. No. And why would he? She was taking care of him, so why would he even have a candle or anything with fire in his room or anywhere for that matter? And Al completely trusted her. So sick. Gina, not that I've heard of. I mean, she was fired from her jobs, but acts like she wasn't. I don't know. Cammy, yeah. That is so sick, Lex. I can't. Mm-mm. I don't know. Now, he had 2 children, but with a different lady. And then he met her, and they got married. She had an older daughter, and then they had a daughter together, correct? Or was that Gannon's little biological sister who was there that day? She locked her baby sister in a hot truck. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, yes. They're both Landon's kids. Thank you, Realty. Thank you. So she doesn't do anything to the little girl. She does it to Gannon. Why? Oh, demon. Yep, the little sister came after school. Didn't it come out that the dad, in fact, had another woman on the side and was going to leave? That's true. There's no reason that she can choose to make any of this make any sense. Well, Gina, we all do. Hopefully this trial explains it. Well, Cordy, she wasn't being too helpful during all of the questioning, and he knew right away that she lied to him. So Landon, his ex-wife and Gannon's mother, had come in from out of town and was staying at their house. And in her interview, Letecia says that she's not allowed to stay there because Landon was there. Thank you, Prisma. She doesn't say anything in that interview about Gannon. It's so sick. I think Al was just more worried about where Gannon was than where the hell Letecia was driving to. Yeah, she had issues with Landon. I don't know if she didn't like little boys, but it's such a bizarre case. I cannot wait to hear what the defense is going to say today. Possible. Hey, Fairy. Yeah, that's all she said. Me, 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 me. That's it. The fork photo? Let me see. Is it this one? No, this is him sleeping on the floor. I don't even know if he was asleep in this picture. This picture here. So this is supposed to be him sleeping on the floor. That's the candle. This is all wax. But I really don't feel like I don't want to say too much. I just don't. It'll be starting soon, Starlin. They're finishing up with the jury stuff right now. Yeah, she said everybody's going to owe her an apology. Gina, we don't know. We're not 100% sure, but we'll be on. Does feel like forever. He said it'll take just a little while for them to finish choosing these final jurors. Hi, Isaias. Where are you going, Cordy? Where are you going? I don't think so, Jax. No. I don't think she got in any trouble. They probably couldn't prove that she knew anything, really. All she did with her was tell her to go get cleaning supplies and that kind of stuff. So. Lady, what are you doing? Whisper, I raise the volume. That's the plan, Millie. There are much less crazy YouTubers covering this, so. Here, there, everywhere. I'll send a postcard, maybe. Maybe. That doesn't sound very nice. Yes, Adrian, they would have. Put this back up. Boing. There you go. I'm trying to figure out how to work on my other iPad here, but I don't know. You got to be able to do all the things. She should be in the courtroom. Yes. Should be very soon. It's already started hours ago, but they're just finishing the jury process. No death penalty in Colorado. The non-menacing crazy is the allure over here. Oh, there's all kinds of crazy. You should have seen us yesterday and the day before. We were on 12 hours watching a trial. Oh, I am sorry, Adrian. What's the best espresso machine to buy? What is mine called? I don't know. Mine's really good. I'll tell you what mine's called. Hold on. It's the Breville. Right? Let me see if that's right. Yes. It's called Breville Barista Espresso. Hey, Carolina. I think so, D, yes. People fell asleep with phones on their heads. What the hell are you talking about? Oh, last night. Yeah. Oh, you stayed away from this one, Christina? You did your whole bathroom, Cordy. Yeah, we had a lot going on in here yesterday. It was just, 50, 60 of us. That was it. But that was a wild trial, right? We watched a 5-day trial in 2 days. Just get you some coffee and hang out in here. You'll never be bored. As you can see, I'm trying to figure out how to work right now. Yeah, my icon's way better. I really need some shampoo. Yeah, she has an insanity plea. Please no. Who's messaging me? Yes, Natalie. Hey, Evil Exists. Yesterday we were on a case about a doctor and a hitman and fake hitmen who were police and veterinarians. Oof, it was something. Now you know. This is going to be my first round here. Knowing no details? Oof. That was crazy yesterday. ST had already started. They're in the middle of picking the final jury. Welcome. That's a really good name. Unsupervised Maniacs. That fits here. Okay, let's go there. How about that? Does anybody notice when this thing on the bottom changes? This big bright yellow thing? Just wondering. Yep, we will be seeing the courtroom. You do? Okay.
Counsel, while I'm doing this, I want you two to compare with each other. Compare with each other, and we'll do the same once I get it marked out.
You'll hear him ever so often until he's finished with what they're doing. Yes, Jackie, that's different. They're trying to say that she was insane at the time she did it. But something happened and, she was temporarily insane. So she's not guilty. Or she can't be held liable for it. The other competency mental health things that she had going on was to see if she could stand this trial. Yes, no, it doesn't. Ooh la la. I like that name. I can see you, Carol. All right, I'm going to mute myself and We're all here. Mods, just explain to people as they come in if you would. I have my cell phone person on the bottom if you can see that. So I'll be in and out in the voice chat too.
Council approach, please.
Oh my goodness. Letecia had an insurance policy on Gannon, and she was the only beneficiary. This can't even be real.
Okay.
Oh, let me read it. Yep, she did. Wow, this bitch here. Wow. Yeah, I guess it just come out. No, Wisconsinite. There's no audio at all to Lori's trial. No. They do have a sketch artist if you're into that, but that's it.
Stack these 9 and 9 instead of
He's whispering to her.
sensitive.
Yeah, I can even whispering too. Cam, you didn't miss anything except Letecia had a life insurance policy on Gannon, and she was the only one who would get paid. How about that? His voice is schmexy. I've shown him before. He's an older man with brown hair and glasses.
All right, what I'm
On
gonna
her
do
step kid, yeah,
now
swear.
is, much like we did on the other days, stay in corporate, and is released. But everybody wait in your seats. I'm done. And the attorneys confirm that this is, in fact, the jury. So juror number 1, you'll be staying. Juror number 2, juror number 3, 7, juror 13, juror 14. Right, so those people whose numbers I have called, stay in your seats. Everyone else is released with the thanks report.
That's not me.
So let's do this. Juror number 7, if you move down here next to juror number 3. Then juror number, actually, let's do it this way. 14, if you'll take that seat right there. 13, if you take the seat in between. Juror 13. Seat next to juror.
I went to another channel. It's their stream. It's the court stream that's doing sound. So
Seat.
it should be fixed. I'm sure they're on top of it.
Juror 65. Seat next. 6. It's just following. 70. 71. Seats here. All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take about a 15-minute recess. What's going to happen is that Mr. Combs and Mr. Sproul are going to show you where it is that you meet, because now things change. What will happen is you'll come into the courthouse. Mr. Combs will meet you at a place. He'll talk to you about that, about how to get into the courthouse. He'll bring you in, and you'll come down the back hallway instead of the front hallway. And there's 2 rooms back here that we have for you, actually. So they'll go through that process. He'll explain how to get back there, what it is that you need to do to contact him. We also will have some juror buttons for you. We will have sort of a tablet that has some notebook paper and some pens and things like that. And if I can, before we go much further, if I can have everyone stand and raise their right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm under penalty of law that you and each of you will well and truly try the matter at issue between the people of the state of Colorado and Letecia Stauch, the defendant, and render a true verdict according to the evidence?
Yes.
Go ahead and have a seat. Now that you've been selected as jurors, there are some rules that you must follow. These are the same rules that jurors have always had to follow in every case. During the trial, this courtroom is a place partially isolated from the outside world. Your decision must be made inside this place, and you must follow its rules. You must decide this case based only on the evidence and the law presented in the courtroom. You must avoid any other information about the case from any other source. These rules are designed to make sure that this is a fair trial. There are 2 basic rules. First of all, you must not communicate with others or among yourselves about the trial as it is going on. You cannot discuss the case while it is pending. You can talk about all kinds of things back there, just not the case. And I know it's a natural reaction that, what did you think about that witness's testimony as soon as you get back there? You simply cannot do that. In addition, you must not do any independent investigation or research about this case. I want to go over these rules in some detail because they are very important. In addition, if I learn that any of these rules have been violated, it may be that we have to start trial all over again on a new date in front of a new panel, and we have to go through the whole process again. So these rules are very, very important. Please follow them. You must not discuss this case among yourselves in any way during the course of the trial. You may not discuss the case among yourselves until after you have heard all of the evidence and you begin to deliberate on a verdict. That's when all the evidence is done. I've given you the instructions and you've heard the closing arguments. In fairness, you must keep an open mind throughout the trial, and you should reach your decision only during your deliberations at the end of the trial. Do not permit anyone else to discuss this case with you or near you. If anyone, including one of your fellow jurors, attempts to do so, please report that fact to Mr. Sproul or Mr. Combs immediately. You are permitted, however, to explain to family, friends, and employers that you are on a jury, and you can inform them of how long the trial will last. You cannot say anything else about any aspect of your experience until you are released from jury service. Do not communicate with anyone else in any way, including in person, by telephone, cell phone, computer, the internet, or any internet service. This means you must not email, text, instant message, tweet, blog, or post information about this case or about your experience as a juror in this case on any website, listserv, chat room, blog, or website. That's really important. We had a case not too long ago where they were actually, I think they were in deliberations, and one of the jurors was starting to blog about their experience. And a mistrial had to be declared, and they had to reset the trial and start all over. Once this case is done, you can talk to anybody you want. You can tell them as much or as little as you like about the process, but while it's going, you can't. You must not read, review, or accept any communications in any form from anyone regarding this case or cases like this. This applies whether you are here at home or anyone else. Do not read about this case in the newspapers or on the internet, or listen to any radio or television broadcasts about the trial. The law even prohibits you from consulting a dictionary to clarify terms that may be used in this case. Why do we have such a long instruction on this? Because in my experience, I think jurors are trying to be conscientious. I think jurors sometimes go home and they say, gee, I didn't really understand that. They try and look something up so that they can have a better understanding about what's going on in the courtroom. You can't do that. Here's why. First of all, before any evidence can be presented in the courtroom, it must be allowed pursuant to the rules of evidence. This book, it's in this book, the rules of evidence governs evidence that's admissible in any trial, whether it's civil, criminal, otherwise. And those rules are in place to make sure that the evidence that you're looking at is reliable and it's admissible. And you may be looking at something on the internet, on the news, or whatever, and I can fairly guarantee you that that does not meet the rules of evidence for admissible evidence in a courtroom. In addition, before you receive evidence in this case, as I said, remember, nothing that the attorneys say ever is evidence. Evidence comes from somebody who comes up here, swears to tell the truth. You won't see the attorneys do that. You won't see anybody on the news do that. You won't see anybody on the internet do that. So they come in, first of all, they swear to tell the truth. Secondly, they're subject to questioning and cross-examination by both sides. And that's, it's referred to sometimes as the crucible of cross-examination to make sure that the information that you get is truthful or is accurate. And if you're looking up things or you're talking with somebody else, neither one of those are going to apply. So make sure that you don't do that. In addition, if you were to do that, I've told you that you can't discuss this case among yourselves. You can't discuss it with anyone else. If you had done that, no one would know that you had done it. And it's possible that you may be making a decision in this case based on information that neither side knows about. And that's just not fair. We don't decide things on secret information in a courtroom of law. Breaking any of these rules would violate your oath and could require a new trial before a new jury. Your misconduct would have wasted all the time that you, your fellow jurors, the court, the attorneys, and everybody have spent in putting this jury panel together and putting this trial together. So please, please, please do not do those things. Again, after trial is over and you have been discharged as jurors, you're free to discuss anything that you want to with anybody that you want to. You just can't do it while we are in trial. So what we're going to do is take about a 15-minute recess. When we come back, I'll have some further instructions for you and tell you what you can expect this afternoon. With that, all rise for the jury, please.
Okay, so they're taking a little break. This is what I
Thank
was
you. You may
telling
be
you
seated.
about the
Record
life
should reflect the
insurance.
jury has left the courtroom.
He's
So the
talking.
plan is when we come back, I'll go through the preliminaries of what the jury can expect this afternoon as far as opening statements, those sorts of things. And then opening statements at 1:30, an hour per side. I'm not going to require evidence. If you have some that you want to put on, if you're not ready to put on evidence until tomorrow, that's fine. I told you that you didn't have to do it today, but we're a little bit farther ahead than what I thought we would be. So
the first witness that we took the call, we've already told them.
it's a long day for them. I think it may be, a lot for them to process and getting back and forth and all of that stuff. So that's fine. If we end up at, 3:30 or so, I'll let them go home. And then we will start up with evidence tomorrow. During the lunch break, you need to do whatever it is that you need to do to make sure whatever it is that you want to do, video, audio, all of that stuff is all ready to go. Are you planning on using photos, anything like that in your opening statement? Have you told them what it is? Okay. They're, okay, all right, just want to make sure.
There will be 2 short
You're playing it from your laptop? Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm not, that should be fine. I should be able to regulate it from up here. The issue will be, I don't think it's connected to the microphones. Hold on just a minute. We should be okay. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay. And, Mr. Tellini, you wanted to renew your motions? Or did you have anything else? Sure, okay, all right, then we'll take our break now. All right. You want her,
The whole time, it should be-
you want her at the table or in the?
No, you can
Behind you.
find it in the gallery, but
Okay.
maybe coming in now.
That's
Not
fine.
anything made.
You will need to let security know who that is, because everybody else, I've said everybody aside from staff and people that are associated with the case, once they leave, they don't get back in
Okay.
until we take a break. So just let them know who it is. All right, court will be in recess then. Say 11:20.
They'll be back in a minute, Middleton. So while we were streaming, I heard something about a life insurance policy. If this thing starts crackling. USAA life insurance. Let me hold this damn thing. You can hear my dogs and everything. This mic's a little too powerful. Adrian, because you're in a different chat room, honey. Okay. USAA life insurance policy against Eugene and Letecia. But let's find it here. Effective June 11, 2017, they issued life insurance policy owned by Letecia. The policy included a term life rider for the child, providing a death benefit of $25,000. And I'm going to throw this mic out the window. Is everybody okay with that? Because I hate it. Let's see, is this better? No, that's okay. Upon information and belief that Gannon was murdered in late January 2020, Gannon resided in Colorado. Letecia was arrested. It says here she was the only beneficiary. This crazy nut. If this court finds Letecia feloniously, say it with me now, killed Gannon, she will be precluded from receiving the death benefit. In the event that the child rider requires that a death benefit be paid to Gannon's estate. Let's see here. I'm finding where it has her name. Hold on. So effective date, June 11, 2017. Initial face amount, $250,000. Benefit period, 30 years. Insured, Letecia. Owner, Letecia. Read all this.
And then you push. Yeah. And the top spread out.
Are they back already? Maybe.
Genius.
I'm just checking to see where it may say Gannon's specific name. Here we go. Letecia. Owner is Letecia. Child protection, $25,000 on Harley. That is not me. Elena. And where's Gannon?
Thank you, guys.
I'm sure he's on here somewhere.
The ones.
Gannon. Child Protection Plan. Gannon J. Stauch. And then this is redacted. Child Protection Plan Replacement. Beneficiary Harley. Primary child.
Okay, I have more. No, I have more. Did you spill coffee on that one?
Outsmarted myself.
This is all on my community wall if you guys want to read it as well.
So it's easy enough to do. No, it's easy. It's easy enough to do.
And this gives a very clear timeline, especially of her internet searches, which were insane. One of the things that she searched for, find me a rich guy who wants to take care of his kids. I wonder if my husband's ex-wife is sending me a Valentine's Day card since I period raised period her period kids. Okay. It was like a plan that day. 4:37 a.m. She texts her employer stating that her stepfather died tragically over the weekend. Then she tells Al Gannon had been up with a stomach ache. She snaps a photo in his bed. She excuses him from school.
You don't sound a whole lot better.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, you don't sound better either.
Yeah. I'm.
Television.
Still bothering you, huh?
Yeah, I feel okay though.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just, you can hear it in your nose.
Mm.
So.
It's his fault that now I'm stuffed up today.
It's a road trip.
Right down the line.
There you go.
That's why I stay away from here. There's a lot of sick kids out there right now. And there is a vicious stomach bug. Yeah. think you're more, when you still have kids in school, you're more
And that's,
to what's going on.
These are all her text messages.
all of our question.
Okay, yeah, just put them on Mr. Combs' desk.
See what a liar she is? Her friend says a polygraph is a good idea. Who is doing it?
Okay,
Someone you
thank you.
choose or someone the police choose? So the police never asked. I told Albert to pick someone
Pardon?
and call them. So I'm here now. No, you went
mean
to
the screens?
fakepolygraphstests.com.
Oh, no, I might start it when they come back. Well, yeah, because there's not a way to, we're not set up for it right now. So I'll start the video after lunch, yeah.
They're going to start video after
I
lunch.
just want to know when we're live streaming or not, so
That's fair.
I should.
More
know when
letters to
I'm
the
trying to
judge.
pick it right
Burnt dirt, you have to click it.
Anytime.
now. What?
What's that give?
I mean, you know, sometimes.
It's all like, I'm not over here paying.
All these letters.
You want me to work off the podium here?
More than happy to.
This woman. On Sunday, we went on a hike, and Gannon was there crying with me because I was crying. It was the day Kobe passed, but he had no idea who he was, just that I was upset. I had every intention of covering up the fire that he started and protecting his feelings from what punished he thought he was going to get. That was our plan the next day, to rectify the situation, that his little heart could stop crying. I have the video because somehow my phone was recording and you can hear how sorry he was. I have the pictures after covering up the fire that he started and protecting his feelings from what punished, whatever. Albert is hurt. He has a lot on him. He's always left me in charge of the kids. He has to go through these emotions, but we'll start to remember how I helped rescue them and have been our family's rock. Sure you have. You guys are fooled. This girl cared nothing about Gannon and all the reason Albert is supporting her until the truth comes out. This girl would go without calling her kids and give them up for a man, was involved in criminal activity, got on drugs, and posted nude. I don't really care what any of you say because she's a piece of shit getting money off her child when she don't have shit and ain't never been shit. Oh, this was an accident, not some tragedy, and Gannon is alive. Really? How did he end up in Florida in a suitcase then? She's a devil. So there's that. Oh yeah, she's a saint, all right. Saint from hell. Yeah, unfortunately, we're not going to hear much about what's going on in Lori's case. You know, we have a sketch artist, but that's about it. Let's see here. Just keep in mind too, they do not have court on Thursdays. I guess for the trial, we're going to try and find out if that's also accurate, but I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, she attempted to escape and fight with officers. But he should be back on any second. So I'm going to mute. That's the kind of chat you're in. You see Sass's comment up on my thing? Sheesh. The judge has other court stuff going on, he said. Sass, it made me laugh.
Okay, sure.
First off, Your Honor, I am reaffirming my motion for a change.
Just a
I
second.
would buy this to the last.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
I would tie this in with the last motion that I filed in the confirmation box. Those who have already expressed a preconceived. That my opinion, that is not a fair and impartial jury. I also cite the court to people, Botham, Colorado Supreme Court, 629, 589, Colorado Supreme Court. And a lot of similar issues that we have here where there is overwhelming media presence. Much like Botham, the vast majority of jurors here publicity had a that indicated that it had influenced They cite in that a case from the United States, for Florida, that's that 95 SC, 7. Quote is, in a community where most veneer men will admit to qualifying prejudice, liability of other protestations may be drawn into question. Or is it more probable that they are part of a community deeply hostile to the accused? Or likely they may unwittingly have been influenced. And so on that, I would rest on my motion.
Okay. Prosecution?
What we learned during jury selection is that while there was certainly a lot of media coverage for this case, jurors that were seated just early, extensive examination by both parties and to that if they had seen people are able to information and trust and respect what we do in the criminal justice system. And know, heard of media coverage. Good in this case based on what happened. That we ended up seeing in sworn in. All understood those. Still two other motions out there.
Just so
Okay,
everybody
hold on
knows,
just a moment.
That's their sound, not ours.
All right. First of all, I've made a ruling regarding this before. I would reassert that ruling. But in addition, we've gone through, well, first of all, everybody wanted to have a questionnaire about what people knew about this case, and I thought that that was appropriate. It was something that we were going to have to deal with, whether we dealt with it in a questionnaire and whether we didn't. But the questionnaire was provided prior to the time that any of the jurors received instructions on the law and what it was that was required, the presumption of innocence, the beyond a reasonable doubt, the right to remain silent, those sorts of things, which is something that all the jurors were advised about during the voir dire sessions. In addition, the jury has been seated at this point in time, and one of the instructions that I gave them was they can't do their own research about any aspect of this case, and they can't rely on any media and those sorts of things. And I told them why. And that's because of the applicability of the rules of evidence, and that whatever they heard or whatever they listened to was not subject to the same things that evidence in a courtroom is, such as the witnesses are sworn to tell the truth or they take an oath to do so. They're also subject to cross-examination and examination by the attorneys, and any of the evidence that is going to be admissible must be admissible pursuant to the rules of evidence. So I tell them why they can't rely on it. I think that it goes against common sense to say that because someone has an opinion about something means that they have to be disqualified per se. In People versus Drake, 748 Pacific 2nd, 1237, Colorado, 1988, the court said that the test to be applied in determining whether a prospective juror should be dismissed for cause is whether the person would be able to set aside any preconceived notion and render an impartial verdict based on the evidence adduced at trial and instructions given by the court. And all of the jurors in this case have said that they can do that. They all seem to understand the court's instructions. In fact, when I was telling this jury panel why it is that they couldn't do research about anything and why they shouldn't listen to the media and those sorts of things. I got a number of nods of the head as to, I mean, indicating to me that seemed to make sense to them. So that the motion for change of venue is denied. In addition, it would be difficult for, I mean, essentially, I think it was Judge Schwartz that had the story about he moved a case to, I believe it was Durango, based on pretrial publicity. And then the Sunday before they were supposed to start jury selection, the local newspaper ran a story about everything that was in the case. Again, I think given the coverage that this has had, we need to keep in mind that we need to have some sort of venue to try it. I would note that this case is not really different than the Dylan Redwine case that was tried in, was it La Plata County? It was down in Pagosa Springs. The Holmes case that was tried in Aurora, and those sorts of cases. So the motion is denied. Are there any other motions we need to address?
Because I think the judge, and I don't. For rate,
Oh,
which
all right. Defense? All right. And just so that the record is clear, Ms. Stauch, you wish to waive a jury and have this case tried to me? Okay. Let the record reflect that the defendant responded yes.
I'm just trying to clear up his audio. It's aggravating me. I don't like it. I don't like it. Shoot. Come on, sir. Let's see.
A fair and impartial jury. And as a result of that, I do not believe that it is necessary that I and I alone decide these issues. As a result of that, the motion to waive a jury is denied. Is there another motion? Okay. We good? Let's
Yes.
bring him in.
Yeah, it's them. So hopefully it clears up a little bit.
And just so that you guys know, now use the front hallway. Use the front hallway when you're coming in. So it's just flipped from what we did before. And each side will have a reserved pew, I guess, behind them. Yeah, that bench behind you, that first bench is reserved for the defense. That first bench reserved for the prosecution.
that's the only.
That's the DA's problem. And you can let them know that if there are issues that I need to address, I will address them. You would have to ask admin, but not as far as I know. Because we're doing it as a live webinar, not as far as I know. I frankly don't think there's any space. All rise for the jury, please. It's okay. All right, thank you. You may all be seated. Again, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to apologize because I forgot to tell you one of the most important things that you need to remember before you left the courtroom. And that was look to your left and make sure that the person that is to your left comes through that door before you do. If you do that, you're going to be fine. Otherwise, you're climbing over each other to get to your seats, and I apologize for that. It's a rule that I always say, and for whatever reason, I forgot this time, and sometimes I do, and I apologize for that. So you've all been given juror buttons, and you have notebooks with notepads on them. Here's a couple of things that I want to talk to you about. While you are in the courthouse, please wear your juror buttons. You don't need to wear them outside of the courthouse, but please wear them inside the courthouse. It does a couple of things. First of all, it lets everybody know that you are a juror. So you may see other jurors that are wandering around with other juror buttons as well. What that does is it tells people that you are a juror. So it means that if potentially you run into witnesses, attorneys, somebody who may know something about the case, they will stop talking when you are around. Don't take that personally. They're trying to avoid even an appearance of impropriety. Again, don't take that personally. Secondly, it identifies you as a Division 15 juror. The courthouse can be intimidating. It can be overwhelming. And the architects who designed it designed all the hallways to look almost identical. It's an unusual place. People are sometimes anxious when they get here, even jurors as well. And so sometimes they get off on the wrong floor. And we have had jurors in the past become misplaced. Having that button on explains that you are a Division 15 juror. It will help a staff person help you get to where you need to be. So please wear them in the courthouse, but you do not need to wear them outside the courthouse. Mr. Combs has told you how to get in the courthouse in the morning. When you get out of the court, or when you come back after lunch, you'll come back through the Tejon Street exit, just like you did when you first came here. And how you got in this morning. You'll use that same process. Just come up to the 4th floor. Did you show them the video phones?
No, Jack talked about it.
Okay, so before you go, they'll show you where the video phones are, but they're right outside the elevator. You'll need to call us, and we can let you in. So, in addition, you've all been given juror pads. They have some information, parking information, and for you. That's typically the one that is the most important for the jurors. We will also have some parking passes for you towards the end of the day. Don't leave without getting one of those. Make sure that you get one. It will make your life easier. It also has contact information for the county in case it gets lost. But I don't anticipate that's going to happen. But in the event that you need the contact information, it's also there. Your packet also has a question form on it. In Colorado, we do not allow, or we used to not allow jurors to ask questions. There's been a number of reforms over the years, and one of the reforms is we do allow jurors to ask questions of witnesses now. It has to be in a very specific format, however. You do not get to stand up and do your very best Perry Mason imitation. Instead, what will happen is when the witness comes on, suppose the prosecution is calling the witness will take the witness stand, the prosecution will ask some questions, the defense will cross-examine, and then the prosecution will do something called redirect. After that, the lawyers are done. What I then do is I ask, do any of the jurors have any questions for this witness? If so, you raise your hand, you write your question down, you put it on the bar in front of you. I'll have somebody retrieve it. They come up here and you get to listen to that wonderful noise. And the attorneys and I will talk about your question. I have to apply the same rules of evidence and law to your questions as I would to a question asked by an attorney. If the rules of law and evidence don't allow your question to be asked, I can't ask it. I can tell you that over the years, I've asked probably better than 95% of the questions that are submitted. If I don't ask a question, it's not a reflection on the juror, and you should think nothing of it. In addition, you shouldn't guess or speculate as to what the answer to that question may be. In addition, you've been given notebook paper. You can take notes. The notes are purely and entirely for you and you alone. Once this case is done, those notes are immediately destroyed. Nobody reads them. We don't grade them for penmanship, accuracy, anything else like that. So whether you want to take notes or not, it's entirely up to you. I am going to read a couple of instructions that may help you going forward. One of the instructions is you may have to decide what testimony to believe. You should carefully consider all of the testimony given and the circumstances under which each witness has testified. Consider each witness's knowledge, motive, state of mind, demeanor, and manner while on the stand. Consider the witness's means of knowledge, ability to observe, and strength of memory. Consider also any relationship each witness may have to either side of the case, the manner in which each witness might be affected by the verdict, and the extent to which, if at all, each witness is either supported or contradicted by other evidence in the case. You should consider all facts and circumstances shown by the evidence which affects the credibility of the witness's testimony. You may believe all of the testimony of a witness, part of it, or none of it. In addition, evidence may be either direct or circumstantial. Circumstantial evidence is the proof of facts or circumstances from which the existence or non-existence of other facts may reasonably be inferred. All other evidence is direct evidence. The law makes no distinction between the effect of direct and circumstantial evidence. Suppose, for instance, that when my children were younger, they had baked some chocolate chip cookies, and I told them that they couldn't have any until I got home. So I get home, I find the lid off of the cookie jar, and I find half of the cookies gone. I could conclude from that evidence alone that it most likely was not my teenage son that got into them because there are still some left. So I think of the next most logical culprits, and I call the twins downstairs. Sam comes down looking like she always does. She has a nice clean face and a nice clean shirt. I ask her if she had any of the cookies. She says no, at which point Kate comes barreling around the corner, running into Sam, and she has some crumbs on her mouth and some chocolate on her shirt. I did not see Kate actually take the lid off of the cookie jar, reach in, and take out a cookie. But I can conclude from what I do see, that's exactly what she did. The law makes no distinction between the effect of direct and circumstantial evidence. When you come back this afternoon, what you can expect is that we will have sort of a short afternoon. And this is on me because for planning, I wasn't sure how long it was going to take to get through the jury process this morning, whether or not we would still be in it this afternoon. So I anticipated that potentially we might have gone into this afternoon. So I flexed that with the attorneys. I said they did not need to present any evidence this afternoon. Evidence will start tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. But when we come back this afternoon, what will happen is the prosecution will start their opening statement. And I've limited each side to an hour. So the prosecution goes first, then the defense goes. Then we will take a break for the day. I'll send everybody home. I'll have some further instructions for you at that point in time. When you come back this afternoon, feel free to bring in some water, some pop, some coffee, anything like that that you would like to. If you want to drink something in the jury box, that's okay. Generally, I can't allow food in the jury box. If somebody is diabetic or has an issue with respect to that, let me know, because there's a way that we can deal with that. So let us know if that's an issue. You can feel free to stand, stretch. Those seats I know are not the most comfortable. I get it. I sit in one that's similar to that a lot. So I understand that. In addition, don't think we have that juror, but in addition, for any of you who are vertically challenged, sometimes you'll find that the seats don't go down low enough. And if that's the case, we have something that you can rest your feet on, so you're not feeling like a 5-year-old in a barber chair. And we got one. We got you taken care of. So we will get one of those, and that should help. The other thing is that feel free to bring in a jacket or something like that if you want to. It always feels warm in a courtroom to me, but that's essentially because I'm wearing a blanket all day long. But if you get cold or something like that, just feel free to bring in a jacket. Again, as you know, most of the eating joints are north on Tejon. There are a few south on Tejon. And your day this after going forward, your court days will look like this. We need you to be in the place you need to be to meet Mr. Combs in the morning, and he'll get you here so you're here at 9 o'clock. We will start at 9 o'clock. We'll have about a 15-minute recess, or a little bit longer than that, somewhere between 10 and 10:30 every day. We'll take a break at noon. We'll come back at 1:15, 1:30, something like that. And we will go into the afternoon, and we will have about a 15 or 20-minute break somewhere between 3 and 3:30 in the afternoon. Then we will stop at 5 o'clock. When we stop, you will be free to return home. Again, you can go on about your business, do anything that you would normally do, except talk about this case or do anything with respect to this case. If you have questions or issues, contact Mr. Combs or Mr. Sproul. They will let me know. And I think that covers most everything that we need to cover. So if we can have everyone back in the jury rooms a little bit before 1:30 so that we can start on time, we should be able to do that. Sounds like it's a beautiful day outside. If you want to go for a walk, that's fine. And we'll see you back at 1:30. All rise for the jury, please. Thank you. May all be seated. Record should reflect the jury has left the courtroom. So we'll be back at 1:30. We'll start evidence tomorrow at 9 o'clock. And I think that's it. Anybody else? Anybody have anything else? Prosecution, defense? Okay. All right. Thank you. Court will be in recess.
So yes, they're after lunch, and I will schedule a new live to start so that everybody's clear. Okay? Okay. See you in about an hour.